Yep.
Give me an L.
Whee! There it is.
Good, good. Hey guys, it's Krissy with the Wood Swept Cowboy here. We are going to be making this awesome seat table from scratch. So let's get started. I am on location at Shelby and Kyle's house. Let's be real, it's actually Zelda's house. So the reason why I am here is they have a large open space, but by the way it's divided with their flooring, she doesn't have a lot of room here for an end table. So our solution is to make a seat table that slides up underneath the couch and that gives her a nice working surface. Shelby has been searching on Pinterest and Etsy for a table like that will serve her needs, and she has had a hard time finding one for less than $150. So she came to me with her problem and we created the seat table for her for around $30. We decided on this design because it fit perfectly under her couch and over her couch arm, and she can use it to ride on, put her laptop on it. But let's be real, she really needed a TV stand to put her drink and food on as she's watching TV. And that accommodates it, which is great. We added a cute little pocket for her to put her notebooks and magazines or whatever else she wanted to put in there. So it's useful all the way around. So the first thing that we did was we measured the couch and decided exactly how big she wanted this. Then we went to the store and we picked out our lumber. So we ended up purchasing two 5/8 by 12-inch wide by 48-inch long pieces of lumber, and they were like the tabletop sections already glued in place, and they were $7 a piece. We didn't think that was too bad, so we put those in the cart. We also purchased a 1x4, and we only needed a foot of it. We ended up purchasing 4 feet of it, but you can look around and see what you can find in the discount area. You might be able to save some money there too. We picked pine material because they already have a coffee table that they DIY'd themselves. And so we picked pine and we picked the same stain. That way they would be very cohesive in the room. We also purchased 5 corner brackets, and I'll show you what those look like here when we put our piece together. We actually purchased the zinc brackets instead of the galvanized brackets because they were $1.50 each cheaper, because we didn't need that extra strength. So we went with the cheaper option. We already had the screws and all the other tools that we needed to build it, even the stain and the polyurethane. So we were good to go, and that was all we had to purchase. We started out painting the brackets black and also started cutting our wood. I started with the larger pieces first, so I cut one of the 5/8 by 12 at a measurement of 24 3/8. Then I cut one of the 5/8 by 12 to 15 inches. I cut 2 of the 5/8 by 12 to 12 inches. And that's all you're gonna need of those larger pieces. Now the 1x4, I just cut to 12 inches. And that was it. Then it was on to assembly. In assembling the pieces together, I started with the side and the bottom, and I pocket holed them first. The reason why I wanted to do that is because it does add a lot more strength at the joint, and it's a lot easier to add your brackets too. And I really like using the pocket holes because they're easy for one, and you definitely know you've used the pocket hole compared to just plain screwing or face nailing, any other way of joining the wood together, because the pocket holes by far are the strongest. So to start pocket holing, I laid out where I wanted the pocket holes to be drilled. So then I clamped the blue jig to my piece, grabbed my drill, inserted the drill bit, and made some screw holes in there. Once I was done, I did add some wood glue at the joint and assembled them with the screws that come with the jig. I used 1¼ inch screws for the soft plywoods. So the next step that I took is I attached the top the same way I did the bottom. So installing the brackets, I used a screw company called Spax. They make great screws that you do not have to pre-drill to use as long as you are going directly into that wood. And I used a number 12 and they were 3/4 inch. Before purchasing your screws, make sure that you measure the wood thickness and your bracket thickness before buying the length of screw that you need, because you don't want it breaking through the wall of your table. So you want to make sure that it's going to stay inside that wood. And then I assembled the pocket. So once I was finished with both of those, it was time to sand and stain. If you want an in-depth tutorial on how to sand, stain, or polyurethane, then check out my tutorials that we did last month on our Back to Basics series. Once we were finished with the staining process, we added the pocket onto the table, and we had a special guest help us out in the garage this day. He measured where he wanted to put his screws through to attach it, and then he pre-drilled. So we knew we wanted to use 5 screws for added strength, and so we measured the equal distance between to get the 5, and we pre-drilled. Then we added some wood at the very bottom of the base so we could set that pocket up in its place where it needed to be, and it made it so much easier to drill through and attach the pocket. And we used the same screws that we did for the pocket holes. As you may notice, the brackets are no longer black. I was not happy with the contrast between the gray and the black, so I ended up just taking a paintbrush and painting the brackets a gray color, and now they blend in a whole lot better, and I am super happy with the way they've turned out. You're probably not even going to ever see them, but in my mind, I would like things to look great even on the bottom. So that's what I did, and you can paint them whatever color you want depending on actually your finish. You know, you can paint them brown if you wanted to, if you were doing a wood stain. It's just personal choice. Another option that you can add is a lip at the very bottom of your C table, the part that slides under the couch, because if you make a thick pocket like Shelby wanted, it may have a tendency to want to pull off to the side. So if you add that lip down in there, it will either add some weight or it will bind up against the bottom of your couch so it won't want to tip over. So in wrapping up this project, we spent about $30 overall making this C table, because we did have the stain, the sealer, a lot of the screws, and also the tools that we used to cut, and you know, the Craig jig, things like that. And we put it together fairly cheaply, which saved her like $120. And it was custom. She got the right stain that she wanted, she got the pocket that she wanted, and I am so excited to see her reaction.
my gosh, that's so cute.
You love it?
Yes. Oh, and it matches perfectly.
Yay.
And I love the pocket.
Yay!
It looks so good. Thank
Yay,
you.
you're welcome. What do you think about this small space solution? Let me know down below. You guys go and have a great day and happy crafting. I'm filming.
Okay.
Oh. Oh. Zeta, come here. Zeta, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here.
Guess what?
Get to use the pencil again. This is innovation at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you are a true DIY master.
Oh, look at
Wow. There's the technique.
Dang.
Oh, that's satisfying.